So there are several ways of using lure, and depending on what you're going after, you can use different styles and different lures, of course. The very first and simple one is speed one, and you just retrieve all the time. Eventually, it will turn into a straight slow. This one, I don't see any point of it unless you're using a crankbait. Then you can take advantage of it. But when you use a crankbait, it doesn't even show as a straight slow. It just says nothing. It's empty. If I increase it to a 2, it will turn into just a straight. Now, according to the description of shots, you can use a straight retrieve, and I actually have caught fish before on straight retrieve. You can just do that. I don't know how successful you can be with this, but it's there. So these two are very easy. While I'm here, let me see if I can cover twitching. Twitching is simply reeling all the time while I'll lift up the rod and repeat this all the time like that. Eventually, here you go. This is it, and with one cast we've covered 3 different retrieves. Very easy to achieve 3 dots on these. These are the simplest ones. Now we can do some other stuff. How about stop and go? Twitching is really good. Oh, a snag. Twitching is really good for pike and chain pickerel, all the pickerel family, pike, muskie, those you can do twitching there. It's a fast, aggressive fish, and it works on that fish. Stop and go is most probably, to me, is the most used one, and it's also simple, but it requires some coordination, and of course, depending on your reel and your weight on the lure, you'll have to adjust. There is a reeling it and letting it go and repeat until you achieve that 3 dots. Right now it doesn't lift up much from the bottom, but I can catch a lot of fish like this. A lot of fish is around the bottom like this in a lot of lakes. That was when you get a snag or something, or even if a fish hits it, you'll lose your stop and go marker there that says. Anyway, up here, and there is a fish on a stop and go. I wasn't even trying, but we'll take it. Why not? What is it? Grass pickerel. Awesome. Now, another retrieve is the lift and drop. This one gets a little bit more complicated. There is a way of doing it. If you want to do it easier, is just lift up the rod and keep it up like this, and you just start reeling it like it's a stop and go, and you'll get 1 or 2. Here you go, but you'll never get a 3. It's just, this is the max you can get to. The good part about this is that whenever you get a bite, it's a secure hook. It's just, once you get a hit, it's on. There is no letting go of it or any of that stuff. You got the fish, and then it's just reeling it out. So eventually, when the line gets closer and closer, I mean the lure, the lift and drop will turn into a twitching. So here you go. And again, and it's kind of mixed bag there, so it's not ideal, but you can do it if you prefer this. The way I do it, if I'm going for a fish that's better to catch on stop and go, I lift up the rod and and swing it a little bit, and then I'll retrieve the loose line, and I'll repeat this, but it goes a little faster. The problem with this one is that the reeling the lure in is much faster, and I don't see a point. If the casts are shorter, there is no point of doing it. You're better with stop and go. You really can use this with longer casts, so you can take advantage of it. And here it is. I'll swing it a little bit and reel, and it starts with 1. Eventually it will turn into 3. I got a snag. Alright, so I was saying, let's with the first 2 or even 3 swings, I'm not gonna get the 3 dots. It takes a while until the indicator shows 3 dots on lift and drop. Alright. There you go. And that was the 3rd swing, and now I just keep this going. And that's pretty much it. Now if I really want to master it, I'll try to bring back the rod a little bit slower. This way I have less loose line, if this makes sense. So if I have to set the hook, I don't have to swing too hard. So here you go, but you get the idea. This is you can get a headache out of this. I'm not a fan of it. I don't really use it unless I really have to. There is some poppers. There is also frog poppers, walkers, and they all do the same thing. Well, they don't do the same thing, they do similar stuff, but the retrieval method is the same. So if I'm using popper, let's put a popper in. When I do it, it will say popping. If I use a walker, it will say walking, and yeah, that's pretty much it. The simplest way is, again, reeling all the time and just do this. It's exactly like twitching, but instead we are popping it, and you want to hear that sound. Here, that one. Oh, we even got a fish. So when it goes like, I don't know, it sounds like barking to me, but this means that I'm doing it right. I make it. Oh, historic spotted bass, yay. And that's the easiest way, but it's not the best. I like to do it at least with 2 dots on it, so it goes like this. I'll pop it, and then I'll reel in, wait a little bit, pop it, and repeat this. Whoa, what happened to it? What is going on? Here you go. So this is a chance to achieve 3. Here you go. It happened for a little bit. That's the only way I can get a 3 dots on it after a missed strike. But other than that, I can't really get it. The other thing is, you can adjust your pauses and see if you're missing too many strikes. Maybe you try to make it a little bit faster, you know, like that. Another thing you can do is actually keep your line tension all the time, but you end up reeling it much faster. While I'm lifting the rod, I will also reel in, and this way I keep tension all the time. This also works, but like I said, I most probably end up reeling it much faster. Wow, this was, I don't know if you guys saw that, but that was like a 3 dots for, I don't know, it just happens from time to time. I may have to rewatch that and see what is actually triggering this. So this is it. It, to me, this is the best way of popping it, always keeping tension on the line. It is a little bit faster. Oh, look at the fish. It's always faster, and it's not good for short casts. If I have to cast at 15 to 20 meters, I will reel it real fast, so I may opt out to bigger pauses and alternate with lifting the rod and reel, lifting the rod and reel. But yeah, for popping, my favorite is, like I said, is always keeping tension on the line. So I'm gonna reel and lift, reel, lift, and I keep reeling while the rod is going down, and you can see the line tension's always good. I don't have loose line. So this is it, guys. If you have anything to add or any suggestions, please comment. If you like this video, thumbs up. I appreciate that. I'm Bulkan. Cheers and take care.